I'm pushing 30 years as an SEX therapist, and I still take courses. I don't know about you, but I want to be the best damn partner I possibly can be. I have a toy chest that rivals anything you've seen because, I've been at it for a while and I had a radio show, so they sent me free stuff. And I probably read 50% of all the books that have been published in the last decade on women's health and sexuality and intimacy. And there's not a lot of new stuff. I will tell you there's not a lot of new stuff, but what there is some new tips and research that comes out every year. So I get the abstracts every morning and I get to read them. I have the coolest job in the world. I get to do this and it never gets boring for me, even though we have the same parts that we've had since we crawled out of caves. So what's new? There's some new, I always liked some new technology, right? The ones you can work from your phone, the new silicone that feels like the real thing. I like those. There's lots of things I can't tell you about on this site because they won't let me show you. But there are some new technology and I encourage you to read them. I have a list I'm just publishing today on my site, which is the top 10 things I wish I'd known 30 years ago. Some of it's about Tantra. When I was studying, that was woohoo stuff. It wasn't part of clinical therapy. But I think it's interesting. Basically, it's slow touch, start at your toes, and what does that look like? And how do you, it was described to me as this. If you rub somebody, like if you got, you do this, you get that static electricity. If you do this without a release, it builds up the electrical currents because all our thoughts, all our movements are electricity. And then you end up with waves of pleasure. And when it's happened, it's like all those people who meditate, right? It took me a while to get it. But when it does, it's like, wow. The other piece, and again, there's a list. I have things that I can talk about in longer pieces. The other piece, I do a lot of stuff around non-monogamy and ethical non-monogamy and how do you incorporate that level of excitement. The last piece that I think people know is that exchange of power, which is a little bit of BDSM, which is submission and domination, which is people who are, it's the giving of power and taking of power, crosses every age, orientation, culture, size, person. Everybody has a little bit of charge about that. And I'd strongly encourage you to look at it. So if somebody's gonna ask me about the best stuff, there's the top 3. I have a whole list. We can talk more. I'm Sue. Please follow me, sexwithsue.com. And like, if you have any ideas, post them. It's about making sure that we are awesome between the sheets. I'm Sue and I got more.